Comment, like, subscribe. It's your boy Stevie D, GSG with Jim's Talk TV. Let me shout out my Alpha Generals, General Let's, Alpha Male and Alpha Females in the building. You heard. Okay, what we got here is a picture what looks like a mugshot release with Jacquees looking kind of beaten. You know what I mean? We'll get behind what's going on the internet streets about that. And we got Jim Jones finally releasing his full release to Pusha. We'll talk about that. Let's get right to it. Okay, so here's the picture that they were talking about with Jacquees looking beat up. And as you can see, he got a swollen lip, a black eye, looking a little messed up. And allegedly, he got beat up by the cops, got into some trouble. That's why this looks like a mugshot. Allegedly, he was with a group of people and something transpired. And this is the end result. And they said that he still was set to try to perform. And, you know, this is how he was looking. There's no full-on details yet besides the fact that obviously something happened to him. Prayers out to Jacquees, man. He's a talented guy. Just he's an R&B guy. People got to stop assuming that because these guys sing that they not with it. You know what I'm saying? Prayers out to him. I hope he's good, and I hope he comes out of this situation clean. People are talking snitching allegations already when they don't even fully sure what really fully happened. But I could see why a picture like this leads to a lot of speculation, because he's not known to be a gangster, but he's not known to be anything besides a singer, and talented one at that. So I would say, you know, before we get too crazy with this story, we gotta wait for further details to come out. Okay, now let's get to what I really came for, is the Jim Jones drops the full response to Pusha T. Now, I'm not gonna overhype it, and I'm not gonna, you know, not give it its just due. Y'all want to know my initial opinions, and then we're going to do a line breakdown just to see if y'all think these are, you know, good notable bars. I thought they were good notable bars to mention, and I think it was a valiant effort from Jim Jones for listening to the fans, to not have a bunch of people jump on the track just yet. His first response was by himself, like I said. But what I truly feel is this beef is, not beef, but this battle is going to come down to a style clash, because you see, if you go listen to it, it's a different kind of beat, and his flow is different, as it always is, even in most of his music. I think it's a valiant effort that he came out by himself. It's a full response, and it's decent, being that we only heard, no pun intended, clips from the response from Pusha T. And how fast do y'all think Pusha T is going to respond to this? So yeah, I think it's just going to come down to a style clash and people breaking down, you know, their own biased opinions on who they like better. Like I always say, I don't have no dog in this fight, but let's get started. So now with the line breakdown, Kanye gave you whips. That's what they do to the slaves. I thought that was witty. I thought it was a notable bar. Y'all let me know if y'all agree, if y'all disagree, and, you know, how y'all feel about that. You know, like I said, we're not going to overhype this and go crazy over it, you know, but we are going to analyze and see how we feel about it. I thought Jim Jones listened to the fan and came out with something decent. It's a self-explanatory bar, but I do feel like this has motivated Jim to go as hard as he possibly can. And y'all let me know if he shot all his shots in one song. Then he goes on to say, he then said, I was chasing a feature, and we're really a gorilla. I see some apes in his features. I thought that was another notable line. Like I said, not overhyping the track, but I feel like he did what he was supposed to do by just coming out solely, and he did drop a full-on diss track. And because there's not much you could say about Push as far as like real personal, he came at it with a different angle. That's why I thought that was a notable line. You know what I mean? Talking about how he looks, pretty much possibly calling him ugly. I don't know. I don't judge as a man, but I do feel like, you know, Jim Jones has put his best foot forward, at least for first response. Like I said, the beat was a little different than what you would normally hear, and Jim Jones always had that, you know, in and out awkward flow, but it looks like he's actually tried to put in some effort for some punchlines. And, you know, y'all let me know what y'all think, if that was even a notable line. He has another line in which way he mentions the only beef you know is Arby or the Big Mac. Arby's or the Big Mac. I thought that was kind of funny, because that's a play on words with the fact that Pusha T and his brother, or just Pusha T himself, are known for writing jingles for McDonald's and Arby's, in which that's like a different kind of flex when you talk music. But Jim Jones put a good effort to, like, I'm pretty much like, you don't know real beef. You know what I'm saying? You only know beef is food. I mean, I appreciate these particular lines in it just because it just puts forward that Jim Jones puts in the effort. Now, y'all gotta let me know, is Jim Jones up 1-0 just because we haven't heard a full-on response from Pusha T? This is nowhere near counting Pusha T out, because at the end of the day, we do know he is more lyrical, or at least I feel like he's a little more lyrical, a lot more lyrical than Jim Jones. But I do feel like Jim Jones listened to the fans and he put forward a diss track. Now, if it's whack or not, I'm not gonna say, because it's a style clash. Pusha T is gonna come in his different angle and his different formula. So y'all let me know if this is a good valiant effort from Jim. I mean, at the end of the day, we just gotta see if Push is even gonna consider that response a full-on diss, or was that just the bait to bait Jim Jones out to dare say something? You gotta think there's not much you can say about Push. I mean, he did make some other wittier lines, but for Jim Jones, I will give him credit for it because it's Jim Jones. He's not really known for being super duper lyrical. That's why I pointed out these bars. I want to know if y'all agree with me. If y'all don't agree with me, he took a couple shots at Malice, basically saying they still sleep together, calling him broke, and dissing his jewelry. He said Pusha dissed his jewelry, but his stuff is official. He made some, some lines in there pretty much just going at them, and he's still dissing them, saying that he's never pushed drugs at all. He's never sold drugs in his life. So all I'm saying, do y'all think this is a 1-0 Jim Jones so far, or do we got to wait for Pusha T to really give, somebody to score? All I'm saying is I'm giving Jim the credit for coming out with a full-on diss track. It's a little different. It's uncanny. It's just different. So, I appreciate it for what it is, and I appreciate that he came forward and it was just him on it. And we just got to wait for I feel like we got to wait for a response from Push. Does Push even consider that bait that he put out, that I think is a bait to get Jim Jones to come out? I think this is good attention on Jim Jones to see if he can gain more fans and see who's going to give him credit. Is people going to be biased on Pusha T or Jim Jones, being that if you're from Virginia or New York, or just is this a style clash where the style that Jim Jones chose to come at him, you know what I'm saying? And the lines he chose to say, I feel like it was as creative as he's gonna be for what's out there so far. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion. It's gonna be a style clash, and we gotta go line by line. Or if you're just biased, you already have your opinion. Now, with all that being said, how fast do you think Pusha T is going to respond, or does he already have one lit up in the clip? You know what I'm saying? And, I don't know. Do you think that Pusha T is going to feel like this response warrants anything? But he's going to have to reply now just because it's out there. Now, he put the bait. Jim Jones went for it. Now, Pusha T is going to have to respond. So how much time do we give him? 2 days, 1 day, a week? I think if it goes past a day or two, you're pushing it. But it doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, no matter what he drops, if it's hot, if it's dope, if it's witty, as we know, he does have lines, and he's a little uncanny with his thinking. You know what I'm saying? I guess it won't matter, but it can't be too long, like what happened with Meek Mills and Drake. It looked like it took Meek a minute to respond. So we'll see. Let me know if y'all agree with me. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.